So today we're going to be talking about 25 years of GeoJobe and what goes into running a company and seeing the evolution of technology over a quarter of a century. We're going to talk a little today about how things are going to perhaps increase in the future, what these innovations are going to look like, but also how we got here. Neil Jobe, our founder, and if anyone's ever wondered where that name comes from, GeoJobe, it comes from Neil Jobe. You know, I worked with Neil very closely around 2012. He and I became business partners over a time of working together, and Neil stayed with the company for 20 years, building it, growing it, doing what he needed as the primary person. After 20 years, he did hand the role of the Chief Executive Officer over to me, and recently, in the last year, Neil has exited the company. My name is David Hansen, and I am the Chief Executive Officer at GeoJobe. I have been at the company for 13 of its 25 years. I started out in the software development. At the age of 19, I was awarded the first Special Achievement GIS award that I got in my career. I participated in several projects that were also awarded Special Achievement GIS awards. I always worked at nonprofits until I came to GeoJobe. And I feel that as my role as a chief executive officer at a technology company, I can affect a very great change in the world. It's something I always looked for in the nonprofit space. And then ironically enough, I'm finding it in the for-profit space, that we can affect change, help our communities, we can help the world globally. GeoJobe has over 10,000 clients globally right now, 52% in the US, 48% international. That's pretty impressive for a small company from Mississippi. We are about 60 some odd employees at this point right now. So to be able to have that global reach and that global impact, that's an amazing story. And it's a story that we're going to explore today, and how we got from a small organization that really started out with our founder working out of a spare bedroom in his house back in 1999 to now being a Esri Platinum business partner, which there are less than 20 of those in the world right now. And GeoJobe's one of them. How we got to be a company of our size and with our global impact. Now, Danny, you've been with GeoJobe how long?
Actually, we're coming up on my 7-year anniversary in about a week.
Excellent. And how about you talk a little bit about your role here at the company and your background?
So I am the Chief Operating Officer here at GeoJobe. That means I oversee our accounting, marketing, sales, departments like that just keep the company running.
Excellent. Now, how did you end up at GeoJobe? Because your background's not GIS, is it?
It is not. I was actually working for a major bookstore chain. I was running one of those stores you see in the mall. And your girlfriend at the time was working for me, and your head popped up over a shelf one day when I was walking her out, and I met you there. We kind of hit it off, became friends, and then a few years later, I came to work for you.
That's right. And you know, we're a bunch of nerds here at GeoJobe, so I know that we really got pretty close whenever you were playing in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign I was running, right?
Pretty close, I would say. I also met my wife in that campaign, so.
That's right. You met your wife in the campaign, and your wife's here at GeoJobe also, right?
Yeah. My wife, Courtney, is our chief support officer.
And our accountant played in that campaign also?
He did.
He did play in that campaign. So, you know, definitely some real nerd cred with that. Eric, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Eric Goforth. I'm the Chief Technology Officer here at GeoJobe, and I came in the software development door, and I've been creating custom solutions my whole life, and happy to apply that to the GIS space when I came on board here at GeoJobe, and just never looked back.
But GIS isn't your background, right?
No, it wasn't. I started out in the semi-truck industry, of all things, writing and maintaining the software that ran the business there, of inventory and customers and the sales cycle and just tracking everything there. And GIS was not something that was at all in my mind.
Awesome. And I know you and I met because we were mutually working together in a video game development venture. Isn't that correct?
Indeed. I still wish that we would have seen that all the way to fruition, but I think we had some good ideas there. But at the very least, we got to know each other, and I'm happy to see what has blossomed out of that.
Excellent. What's important at GeoJobe and what's important to me is community and interacting not just in our community here in Mississippi, which is very close to me and very important, but the communities of all of the employees that work here at GeoJobe. I'm a strong believer that economic change is what leads to growth of individuals, that gives the opportunity for growth. We have individuals on staff that do not have degrees. We have individuals that have PhDs. We have multiple PhDs on staff, and we have half of our staff does not have traditional college degrees. So we have very diversified experiences that take place. My own background, neither one of my parents graduated from high school. I am a first generation high school graduate, not college graduate, high school graduate. My mother worked in a sewing factory, swingster sewing factory, sewing hats. My father was a sheetrock finisher, doing construction. When the casinos came to the Mississippi Gulf Coast in the early 90s, it created an economic boom. And when that economic boom took place, that allowed for an increase in our education system. That allowed for an increase in our quality of life. Our hope here at GeoJobe is that what we have done with technology, this is the beginning of a trickle of what will become a wave of economic growth for the Mississippi Gulf Coast and Mississippi overall. We're always looking for what we call good clay. How often do you hear me talk about that?
Quite often.
Quite often.
Almost every day.
We're looking for, I always say, I can teach you to be a better programmer. I cannot teach you to be a better person. So we find great people and we make them good programmers. That's what matters. Now, I said that when I was over the software development division, but instead of programmer, you could find and replace that with, we make you a good project manager, or we make you a good data scientist, or we make you a good geospatial analyst. We invest in other organizations that we use as hiring pipelines, such as the Mississippi Coding Academy. We believe strongly in what they're doing. We try to hire several graduates from each cohort of the Mississippi Coding Academy. That organization allows individuals that want to be able to participate in technology, but don't necessarily have the means. That organization will allow them to go and for no cost to step in and get trained in how to be a software developer. So partnerships matter a lot at GeoJobe. And one of the most key partnerships to our entire organization is our partnership with Esri. We've been an Esri business partner since 2002. That's a lengthy time to be in business together. We are currently a platinum partner. I know that when I started here, we were a silver partner. I mean, you remember those days, Danny?
Yeah, when I started, we were a silver partner, and becoming platinum has actually been a proud point for me.
GeoJobe's very big on partnering with partners in the Esri ecosystem. We have, for instance, other partners that have went for contracts, for RFPs, where what they will do is they will prime, but then they will take portions of it where we assist, where we can help, and we go under their banner and we help them out. Where what we'll do is if you have really great data that we think benefits our 10,000 plus clients globally, you can talk to us and we'll be a sales channel going and communicating with our users, with our end users and saying, hey, here's this great other Esri business partner that provides data or makes applications or, provides a particular solution in this area.
And it's really fascinating to me, like this industry and especially like this ecosphere, just how much people are willing to partner with each other.
I think some of that is a result of Jack and Laura Dangerman, how they founded their company and what values they have and what they show is of importance to them. And partnership is certainly something that is of importance to Esri. And that trickles to us as platinum partners. There's less than 20 platinum partners in the world right now for Esri, and I am so proud to be one of them. I am so proud that one of those partners exists in Mississippi. That's huge for our area. When you think about technology, you don't often think of Mississippi first to mind. But in the geospatial world, GeoJobe will pop to mind pretty quickly. And then it's just one jump away to figure out that GeoJobe is a Mississippi-based company. And that's huge for me. I'm joined now by Christian Patton. And Christian, what's your role at GeoJobe?
Yeah, I'm our Director of Professional Services.
And how long have you been our Director of Professional Services?
Coming up on 3 years here.
3 years. What does it mean to you that GeoJobe is an Esri Platinum business partner?
To me, it means that we're striving to pioneer or get ahead in geospatial itself. Something that I've always found interesting about GeoJobe is that we're always looking to not just do the norm, but we're trying to go outside of that. And I think it means that we're constantly providing our clients with something new, as well as something interesting to serve their specific use case.
Christian, our company's been around 25 years currently, and we've seen a lot of change in those 25 years. We have seen a growth of internet mapping We've seen the rise of geospatial artificial intelligence. We have seen what's really in its infancy. We've definitely seen more integration with data science. But what do you see as the next 25 years? Where will we be talking about in the year 2049? What will GeoJobe be doing?
We'll be doing things that are not known within geospatial right now. And as a director of professional services, that's something I'm looking to strive to do, is constantly be pushing towards the edge of innovation.
Chris, I know that you have a great relationship with other people at the company, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so can you talk a little about what it's like working with the environment and what it's like at GeoJobe?
It's great. One of the biggest things that have been interesting to me is to see how many different things we provide for the people that work here at GeoJobe. And I mean that by, we have a lot of engagement naturally across teams as well as just individual interactions as well.
Now, who would you say is better at the game of pool on the pool table? Would that be the professional services team or the project management team?
It's going to be professional services.
Well, you're certain. So if I were to ask the PMO right now about that, they would say that professional services shoots better pool.
They would agree.
They would agree?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, Danny, what are some of your favorite aspects of your job?
One of my favorite aspects, I think, of working with GeoJobe is having the community that we've built for our employees. I think everything that we do, as far as operationally speaking, is looking at how we can make a great environment that our employees can collaborate together in. Everyone feels like they can be themselves, express themselves, and I think that just lubricates the process of them being able to do their job properly.
That's right. We definitely have a very inclusive culture. So let's talk about something else related to growth that matters a lot to me, which is the MapThis initiative. So the MapThis initiative helps keep geography in K through 12 education. What we found is a lot of times with federal testing, geography is minimized as a subject. It's not necessarily something that's tested for. You're tested on your reading, you're tested on your math, but how much do you know about the world around you? So Danny, what does the MapThis initiative mean to you?
For me, MapThis is the tool that we use to communicate outside of the GIS industry. If we want to just talk to schools, the common person, that's our blog is branded as MapThis. And I think we've done a really good job of creating knowledgeable articles that can help educate people through the MapThis blog.
Yeah, certainly our products are useful to geospatialists, geospatial professionals. MapThis does allow us to speak to those which are the layperson outside of geospatial technology. But what I have also found, in addition, is that MapThis really resonates with the geographers that are trying to communicate with those outside of the geospatial field. We'll be at so many conferences and see someone wearing a MapThis shirt. We'll see someone with MapThis stickers. We'll see someone who even has some of the other MapThis paraphernalia. They're just like walking around with it. I know something I super enjoyed is I do have those MapThis sneakers that we had custom made. That was super, super awesome. GeoJobe MapThis sneakers. Those were a big hit at the conference. And I think that resonates so much with the other geographers because GIS is such an influential yet not well-known field. When they go home and they are talking to their family, it's, well, what do you do? I'm a GIS analyst. Well, what's a GIS analyst? And then the whole thing is, the simple answer is I make maps. But it's so much more than that.
So much more. Yeah.
So much more. GIS isn't just maps, it's data, it's understanding, it's analysis, it's insight. Those insights matter. Those are what give perspective to our world. What are some of the most exciting technologies you've seen come out of Esri recently?
I would say ArcGIS Enterprise and its counterpart, the SaaS offering of ArcGIS Online. It's really getting the technology in the hands of so many organizations out there to be able to do what they need to do with it. And seeing that adoption and the continued improvements that Esri keeps putting into that on both sides of the fence has been really impressive.
So we were recently in San Diego at the Esri Users Conference, and we walked around one of our large clients that really matters to us and gave them a guided tour of various Esri booths and Esri stands around their technology. What were some of the things that had our clients excited?
I'd say the first thing that really caught their eye was ArcGIS Business Analyst and being able to utilize its capabilities to get census data, demographic data, median income, and things like that about places that they cared about. They were also really interested in ArcGIS knowledge and what that represents, and they were really enamored with that demo that Esri put on there. And then I think ArcGIS Indoors really presents really well too, because they can see themselves doing a lot of, I mean, it's a very visual medium, right? You can look inside of a building, or immediately drawing correlations to doing cost management of the things inside of a building or things like that. So I think those three definitely were some of the big takeaways this UC as just showstoppers that everyone we brought to those booths were so excited to see.
You know, for me, you talked about ArcGIS knowledge. I really enjoy thinking through the possibilities of what we will be able to, the insights we'll be able to glean using ArcGIS knowledge and knowledge graphs. Can you talk a little about knowledge graphs and ArcGIS knowledge?
Knowledge graphs are a way of relating information that isn't strictly related. Everything can be related to the things that it is related to without worrying so much about the highly structured environment of a traditional database. That is honestly a better way to represent the world, and it breaks us out of the limitations that we had with structured relational databases in a way that allows us to take data in any form it comes into and make benefit of it and find insights about how that data affects everything else around it.
Now, knowledge graphs were super popular in the intelligence community.
Yes.
And was very much used for the tracking of concepts such as interpersonal relationships, of what's the probability of person A knowing person B and how they interacted.
I've seen it for public health, for
Yes.
crime analysis. The applications are
God, in
as diverse as
epidemiology
ever.
with contact tracing, that's been so awesome to see. Now, for us, we built our own internal three-dimensional knowledge graph
Yes.
of entire ArcGIS Onlines and ArcGIS enterprises. And what we did is develop the ability to be able to fly through that in 3 dimensions in virtual reality. I think that was a big hit at the conference.
Oh, it absolutely was. That had everybody coming back for more. It was something to see.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also really excited about augmented reality and what
Yes.
we can do there. We've got that VR example that we brought to the user conference. The very next step is making that happen in augmented reality in front of you, and that is going to make it even more of a visceral thing when they can see it and it's interacting with the world in front of them. And that is going to be wonderful to realize and to see people experience for the first time. The technology can bring that to them.
Well, you've heard a lot from myself and Danny and Eric and Christian and some of the others of the GeoJobe crew about the last 25 years of GeoJobe. You've heard a little bit about where we think the next 25 years are. I'm going to talk to you here about what matters to me, and a theme and really a thread that you've heard through all of this is community, because community is what matters to me. And the reason I say a thread is because it's what holds all of us together. We come from different backgrounds. Some of us were born and raised here, some of us moved here, but all of us seem to count ourselves as fortunate to be here. GeoJobe is more than just a geospatial company. It's more than just a technology company. GeoJobe represents economic hope. GeoJobe represents the possibilities. And in reality, the possibilities are endless. It's not just myself or Eric or Danny or any of the others that are making this possible. It is a large team that believes in us and believes in what we're doing. I don't just mean people who are employees of GeoJobe. That team counts not only the employees, but their families. It counts other people in the industry that believe in what GeoJobe is doing. There are so many times that I've interacted with one of our partners, and they're amazed, whether it be one of the Esri business partners or one of our client firms that we work with, or people inside of Esri itself that are very supportive of what we're doing here, and that means a lot to me. But community is what's important. The technology will grow, the technology will change, but the community, that's the thread that's going to make all of it work. That's what keeps us the same level of commitment as we were 25 years ago to now, as the same level of commitment we will have to this in another 2.5 decades. That's the same level of commitment we'll have in 100 years if we can keep community, and I believe we can because it is core to GeoJobe. Thanks for taking time to listen. I appreciate you.